You got to drag it pretty much along the ground. You do not want to fish this on those, and this is going to flutter up. Finesse fishing in winter, it has been proven to catch a tremendous amount of fish, and the moment you do that, boom, you're on. Hello and welcome to this week's Angler News Top 5, and in today's Top 5 we are talking about winter bass baits. Guys, if you don't know what the Top 5 is about, this is the one where we go and put out a poll through all the anglers in the country, and we see out of a range of baits, and there's a few that would work, which would be the top 5 bass baits you would use, and in this case the ones for winter specifically. So let's get into the show. Starting off, coming in at number 5. Now guys, there was a joint thing at number 5. Now talking about spinner baits, guys, your spinner baits, there are different types of blades. This is your willow blade, you've got your Colorado blade, and you've got a mix between Colorado and willow. Now if you are fishing the willow blade this winter, you're going to fish it really deep, and you're going to make sure you're going to drag it pretty much along the ground. So what's going to happen is these blades are going to create a flash. You're going to fish this really slow because, as we know, over winter bass are feeding quite slow. When you're fishing with your Colorado, guys, this year, either way, you're going to fish it slow. You cannot fish this bait fast at all. But this is going to create that thumping noise in the water, and that's what's going to get your fish attracted to that. And your third option, well, it's a mix between your willow and Colorado. Now, bear in mind, some are silver, some are gold. Guys, you can mix this up. So, guys, your spinner bait has been known to be very effective during winter fishing. Well, I mean, we put out about 10 baits. This came in at number 5, so you can see it's really not that bad. Although we would think a spinner bait should be fished a bit faster, but that's probably only with your willow blades. Like we said, the Colorado going to create that thumping noise. This is going to create the flash, and this is the kind of thing I would fish around 3 foot of water when you still got a bit of light penetrating through, so you can still see a bit of, you want a bit of flash, and you can get a bit of thumping effect. So now there was another bait that came in joint at number 5, and this has been exceptionally effective in winter fishing as well, and we're going to tell you all about it at the end of the video as our bonus tip. So make sure you stay to the end of the video. Now coming in at number 4, football jigs. Guys, your football jigs are mainly used on those rocky areas. It is fished on the ground. It is a beautiful creature bait. It is exceptionally well in the winter period because it's fished quite slow. It's going to be bouncing off the bottom. You do not want to fish this on those muddy areas. That's just not going to work. However, fishing on that hard bottom, shelly bed, rocky areas, this is going to be highly effective. So now coming in at number 3, the lipless crank. Guys, I've got a bright colored one, I've got a natural colored one. These work really, really well. So pretty much this creates a very tight wobble. As you know, in winter things slow down. You can see it's got a very narrow body, and what you're going to kind of do is you're going to cast this in and just kind of pull, and this is going to flutter up. As you can hear, the rattle, it sounds exceptionally well, and these things, they're going to flutter up, and then you're going to stop, and you're going to pause, and you're going to wait for about 5 seconds and pull it up again, and then it's going to do that. Pause, wait for 10 seconds, and pull up again. So you're just going to pull up, wind up the slack, and what you're going to find is a pattern. If that fish is taking on this within 5 seconds, stick to it. If it's going in 10 seconds, stick to that. Guys, your lipless crank is a tried and tested bait. It's been around for a very long time, and it is highly effective over this winter period. Now coming in at number 2, the good old-fashioned drop shot rig. Guys, obviously sinker at the bottom. This is the most important thing, is the way your hook is sitting on this. So your drop shot rig, also finesse fishing in winter. Fishing is very slow, so you want to fish finesse, and as you drag that at the bottom, this is sitting out there, guys. It has been proven to catch a tremendous amount of fish. I've been outfished by guys that have been fishing drop shot rigging, and it's not to say because you are fishing finesse that you're only going to catch small bass. This has been known to take some real big size bass as well. Now coming in at number 1, guys, taking the polls unanimously, the suspended jerkbaits. As you can see, various size lips, which creates various different diving depths. This one is a 4.6 foot. This one can go up down to an 8 foot. Guys, it is a great casting lure. It gets down there, it sits, and it just suspends. It dives down really fast. You're going to give it 2 or 3 quick ones. It's just going to come up, create that little noise, and it's going to sit out there. And as that bass comes up towards it, it's just going to sit there and look at it. And the moment you do that, boom, you're on. Fish is on. The suspended jerkbait has been the #1 bait for winter bass fishing because of its slow rise. So it's going to just sit out there and it's just going to suspend. And we know winter fishing for bass, the bass feed very slowly. And once it's down there, just to get it a little excited, that's when it gets smashed and you are on. So guys, that is our top 5 for the winter bass fishing lures. Starting off at number 5, your spinner baits. Number 4, your football jigs. Number 3, the lipless crank. Number 2, your drop shot. Coming in at number 1, guys, the suspended jerk baits. Now, all these baits, there's a lot more information about them. I mean, this was just to give you the top 5 and just to tell you about it in literally a nutshell. There is so much literature out there on these baits, especially on the spinner baits. There's information out there as to what your football jigs can do, how to fish them, how to use your lipless crank and why that works so well. Guys, go out there, get more information about it, read up more about it, or watch more videos about it. Now, I did mention there was another bait that came in at number 5. So I know we were talking about the top 5, but this was joined in at number 5. Guys, your Ned rigs. Various ways to rig them. I mean, obviously you can have the one which the hook is protruding out. Works exceptionally well. However, you do lose a lot of them. This is going to be fished pretty much where it's sitting on the ground and the soft plastic is going to be doing its business. You can fish them weedless, and of course you have your hook protectors that's going to keep them weedless when you are fishing them. Exceptionally effective over the winter period. But if you are going out there for this winter, these are your top 5. Now, speaking of winter fish, next week we have got the top 5 sardine baits to use for the season. So make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell not to miss out on this season's hottest baits.